What would you do if your child's life was slipping away, moment by moment, and the only thing you could rely on was a prayer? Would you believe it could save them, or would you give in to the fear that it's already too late? This is the story of a mother whose unshakable faith defied every limit of reality. There are moments in life where we are left with no answers, no options, and no guarantees. Just questions. Questions that test how far we are willing to go, how deeply we are willing to believe, and how strong we truly are when everything is on the line. Today's story is one of those moments. It's about a mother, her unyielding prayer, and the power of faith that turned a hopeless situation into a miracle. If you've ever doubted the power of belief, this story might just change your mind. In a small, quiet village surrounded by hills and endless fields lived Mira, a single mother. Her life was simple but filled with purpose. Every morning, she would wake up before the sun, tend to her small patch of land, and prepare food for her 8-year-old son, Arjun. He was her world, her only family, her hope, her everything. Arjun was no ordinary boy. He had dreams, big ones. He would often tell his mother, "Amma, one day I will become a teacher and help all the children in the village learn." Mira would smile, her heart swelling with pride. She wanted nothing more than to see her son's dreams come true. But life has a way of testing those we love the most. One afternoon, while playing with his friends in the fields, Arjun suddenly collapsed. His friends called out for help, and soon, the villagers gathered around. Mira came running, her heart pounding in fear. She found her son lying motionless, his body burning with fever. His breaths were shallow, and his skin had turned pale. The villagers suggested all kinds of remedies, home remedies, prayers, even superstitions. But nothing worked. Someone finally said, "Take him to the town doctor. That is his only chance." But the town was miles away, and there was no transportation. It was already late in the evening, and darkness had begun to set in. The journey was long and dangerous, especially for a woman walking alone with a sick child. But for Mira, there was no choice. She picked up Arjun in her arms and began walking. Imagine this, a mother walking alone through dense forests with her unconscious child in her arms, the weight of his body pulling her down, the fear of losing him tightening her chest with every passing second. The night was cold, the path uneven, and the dark forest seemed to stretch endlessly. With every step, Mira whispered a prayer under her breath. At first, her voice was soft, trembling with fear. "Please, protect my son. Please do not take him away from me." As the hours passed, her prayer grew louder, more desperate. The villagers, who had followed her to the edge of the forest, shook their heads. "It's useless," they said. "She's walking into the dark with nothing but a prayer. What good can that do?" But Mira didn't stop. Her faith was stronger than her fear. As she walked, carrying her son's weight, something remarkable began to happen. She felt a strange sense of calm wash over her. It wasn't the kind of calm that comes from knowing everything will be fine. No, it was the calm that comes from surrendering to something greater. She whispered to herself, "Faith can move mountains. If I give up now, I will lose him. But if I keep believing, maybe, just maybe, there's hope." Hours passed. The forest seemed never-ending, and Mira's arms felt like they would give out any moment. She couldn't feel her legs anymore, but she refused to stop. Then, just as she reached a clearing, she saw a small light flickering in the distance. She hesitated. Was it real, or was her mind playing tricks on her? But as she moved closer, she saw an old man standing by a fire. He had a calm aura about him, almost otherworldly, and his eyes held a kindness that immediately put Mira at ease. The man looked at her and said, "I've been waiting for you." Mira, confused and desperate, could only manage to say, "Please, my son, he needs help." The man nodded and gestured for her to lay Arjun down. He opened a small pouch filled with herbs and began preparing a remedy. Mira watched in silence, her heart pounding with both hope and fear. What if this didn't work? What if she had walked all this way for nothing? The man poured the herbal mixture into Arjun's mouth and placed his hands on the boy's chest. Minutes passed, though to Mira it felt like an eternity. Then, slowly, Arjun's breathing steadied. His cheeks regained their color, and his eyelids fluttered open. He looked at his mother and whispered, "Amma." Mira broke down in tears, holding her son close. She turned to thank the man, but he was gone. No footprints, no signs of him ever being there. Only the faint glow of the fire remained, which soon faded into the darkness. When Mira returned to the village with Arjun in her arms, the people couldn't believe what they saw. "How is this possible?" they asked. "We thought he wouldn't survive the night." Mira simply smiled and said, "Faith saved him. My prayer was heard." But deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that the old man wasn't an ordinary healer. Who was he? Was he sent by the heavens? Or was he a test to see how far her faith could take her? That night, as Mira put Arjun to bed, she whispered a prayer of gratitude. She didn't need answers. She didn't need to know who the healer was or where he had gone. All she knew was that her belief had carried her through the darkest night of her life. This story is more than just an account of a mother's love. It's a reminder of the incredible power that lies within each of us. How often do we let fear stop us from believing in the impossible? How many times do we give up when the road ahead seems too difficult? Mira's story teaches us that faith is not about having all the answers. It's about trusting the process, even when the outcome is uncertain. Faith is not a guarantee that everything will work out, but it is a promise that you will find the strength to keep going, no matter how dark the path may seem. So, the next time life challenges you, remember Mira. Remember her prayer. And most importantly, remember that within you lies a strength far greater than you realize, a strength fueled by belief, love, and hope. If Mira's story inspired you, share this message with someone who needs hope today. And if you believe in the power of faith, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories that touch the heart and soul. Together, let's spread hope and belief.